Hello and welcome. It's the beginning of our Sunday soap block here on AfterBuzz TV, and we're doing a special edition of AfterBuzz TV's The Voice of. Yes, I'm your host, James Lott Jr. I have a voice too. I'm James Lott Jr., and you can follow me on Black Hope LA on Twitter, and James Lott Jr. on everything else. So, of course, we have our commitment to bringing you former people from Days of Our Lives, the 50th anniversary, very exciting. And to do this with me, I have my Dishin Days co-host, whose hair, if it was back in the 80s, would need 2 cans of Aquanet. Mark J. Freeman.
Hello, everybody. Mark J. Freeman here. That's all. Was I supposed to say more? Find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lorraine Love, or you can follow my hair at Livin' For The Hair.
It's Mark's first time. It does before. So
we couldn't have had 3 better people to be doing a voice of.
Yes, all 3 of us.
These
exactly.
voices.
Yes, thank
it's like going to be the battle of.
Yes, the voices.
The voices.
Oh, I love it. Now,
this is the real The Voice.
This is
right
the real
here.
The Voice. Yes, The Voice AfterBuzz. Yes. Okay, so as I said, our commitment to bringing you people from the past and the present from Days of Our Lives. We brought you someone who a lot of you are so excited, as much as I am, who watched her when she was on back in the day. We're all young. She played Stefano DiMera's first daughter. Not second, not third, first, Renee. And she caused plenty of trouble in Salem. She did. And she has one big scene we're going to talk about that everybody's just been talking about online and on the chat room. We're going to talk about that and show you little snippets of things, of course. She was also on Rituals and Another World. I remember watching you on Another World. She also was a celebrated busy voice actor. She's done so many anime and other specials and films and TV. She also directed your short film called The Audition that came out last year. It's just an honor and a privilege to sit next to this woman, Miss Philece Sampler.
Oh my gosh!
Welcome,
thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my
Seriously,
gosh.
thanks for coming in.
Gosh, can I have a copy of that?
Yes, you can. I'll write
Put that in her scrapbook.
Okay.
I know. Maybe I will. I'll put it in her scrapbook.
Good.
So we're gonna talk to her. We only have an hour, but we're gonna talk about all kinds of stuff with her, and we're gonna start off with Days, of course.
Okay.
Of course. How are you today, first of all?
I am fabulous. I am so honored to be here. I have to say, I feel a little Sally Fieldish. No, wait. You remember when she got a lot of flack for when she won the Oscar, and she said, "You like me, you really like me." Well, I feel like you remember me. You really remember me. So thank you.
Yes,
I really.
I contacted
that.
you,
I
and
know
that was it.
Like, shocked.
And we talked.
Amazed.
And like you were saying before that we came on, this is your first television interview since '89.
Yes.
Wow, this is amazing. I feel extra honored.
Well, yeah, you should.
Good answer. A woman of your caliber should say that to us.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now we're going to show some pictures of her first from her day's time.
Okay.
You can't really see him because of the blinding light.
Oh, I see that. Yes.
So I'm not really.
That was taken in front of my garage. A few years ago.
Yes.
I love it.
So it's not super current, but it was one I liked.
Yes.
And I used.
So I shouldn't say, now that's it. Tony.
Yes.
Teo Pengalis.
I think that was probably when I had told him we couldn't be together anymore.
Okay.
Because we're brother and sister.
Because we're brother and sister.
Technicalities, daytime.
But yeah.
I love this picture.
That's great.
That was one of the first publicity shots that I put out on a postcard I would send when I would get fan mail. I would sign it and autograph it and send it back.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I think that one. That's your gravesite.
That's my gravestone. What can I say?
Yes.
Yes.
1961, 1983.
I know. Isn't that
I just love your hair in all these pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It's like bouncing and behaving hair.
I was watching one of the clips on YouTube yesterday, and you had on this dress, and of course my first thing was like, "That is fabulous."
Really? Okay.
Totally 80s. It was like a red. It looked like a wrap dress, but a gown or something, and it had ruffles across, and I was like, I wish they made
that was a robe.
Was it a robe?
No, if it was if it's what I'm thinking about, it was during the time. If it was a solo picture, it was taken the same day where Liz. We posted that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Those pictures of Tony and Renee kissing in the stable and playing a game on the couch. It was taken that same day, so technically,
my first
Liz
thought is
took
always, I wonder if that comes in big girl sizes. This big girl.
Oh yes, David and Renee's wedding.
Yes.
That was the official NBC press release picture.
And that's Greg Marks, right?
Yes, Greg Marks.
Who was also on As the World Turns as one of the Tom Hugheses.
Yes, and won an Emmy.
Yes, he won
one
an
of
Emmy.
the Tom Hughes.
There are many Tom Hugheses on
And I have to say, Greg and I, throughout all of these years, have remained good friends.
Oh, great.
And we stay in touch, and he's quite an incredible, I guess I would like to call him a crooner singer.
Okay.
And he plays and sings around town, and so I go see him on occasions and try to bring some friends. So he's fabulous.
Somebody boo David.
What? Somebody booed David?
Booed David.
No.
So this is the chat if you want to see what they're saying.
Yeah, MJ Smile says Philece was my first day's fangirl
actor. Yeah.
Whoa.
So that's the MJ Smile who loves you.
Thank you, MJ.
And George Melly wants to know, did she like the black feather dress on the final episode? That's a good question, actually.
Yeah, I think I loved it. No, I say that because...
Look great on you.
Gosh, you guys...
They remember stuff.
No. Where I'm going with this is really highly emotional in the sense of, yes, they probably could have put me in a potato sack, and I would have said, that's fine.
Yeah.
Because I knew it was my last days on the show, and that I had all of this speech and all of this responsibility, ahead of me, and how I looked was kind of the last thing on my mind. But in hindsight and seeing it, oh gosh, it was great. I love that dress.
Now, when this was happening, I'm just curious. This just popped into my head. How far in advance did you see this coming, or was it surprised that you were going to be leaving the show?
How's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming they didn't have social media, so I'm sure it wasn't out there that everybody we know in advance that everything's happening.
I would like to toot my horn just a little in this regard. I think I had less than a month's notice because back then we taped 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, not 5 months.
No.
5 months now.
Interesting.
I know. We were like 2 weeks ahead.
Okay.
So I think they gave me 2 weeks before that 2 week script came in to know what was going on. But it was a total surprise.
Wow.
And I heard about it through rumor, and I marched up to Al Rabin's office, and I said, is it true? And he said, sit down, Philece. And so we talked, and, I don't remember if I cried or not. I think I was in such shock, at the time. And, but what I would like to say that I was proud of myself for is I didn't leak it at all.
Okay.
I could have easily have called Soap Opera Digest or Daytime TV or any of the magazines and said, guess what, they're killing off Renee, and spoiled the whole...
So they didn't have you, you didn't have to sign confidentiality things at that time?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Interesting.
No.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
But I honored that, and it was really interesting.
So basically, for folks who may not remember or don't know, because we have some people who are actually watching who don't know what Renee did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
So we're going to film just a little bit. What's going on is that you came on as the younger sister of Lee DuMonde, but who actually turned out to be your mother.
Yes.
Of course, totally soap thing. And Lee was kind of evil. She kind of had her own little bad stuff herself.
Yeah, well, you know what? I really would love to say about Lee, and that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yes.
But I think where they were both coming from is they really got labeled as bitches.
Okay.
But I just like to think we were both terribly misunderstood.
Okay.
Okay. If that makes sense.
Yes. Well, don't you have to don't you have to love your character to play it?
Oh, absolutely.
Right. You have to love Renee.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
And it was like, I really don't think Renee totally did things out of real vindictiveness.
Okay.
She did things to further her needs and her wishes and her desires, And so I think that's why she came off as bitchy.
Yeah.
But there was always a purpose.
Yeah, because I mean, there's one of the big things was that you were taking under the wings of Chris Kolchatek and Marlena Evans. That whole thing there. The Salem Strangler thing was kind of going on at the same time. That kind of was going on. But then you developed feelings for Tony DiMera.
Yes. And that, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, came out of, he took a shine to me because I was kind of this little bit of a Southern hick in a way, and he took me on as a project, kind of. It was a little bit of the Liza Doolittle, My Fair Lady storyline, and I think he started falling for me, despite himself, and then that attraction, developed, and when Lee started seeing that happen, she was trying to do everything she could to keep us apart because she knew the truth. And when the truth finally came out, they had just gotten engaged, and Renee was like the happiest she'd ever been in her life. And suddenly that came to a grinding halt. And also in the letter that Lee left, she said, don't let Tony and Stefano know because they'll come after me and all this kind of stuff. So not only did I have to try to keep that bottled up inside, that I could not tell anybody, but Marlena knew. And that was really lovely. I was so glad to be able to work with Deidre in that sense, that it started out as patient, relationship, and then it turned into a friendship, and that was really quite lovely.
We're going to show a little clip of when after she finds out she is a DiMera.
Ooh. Okay.
It's from me.
No.
I will also say that I am very proud and honored to introduce my lovely daughter Renee into society.
No, I won't do it.
Renee, please. You are a DiMera now. There's so much time to make up for.
Please, I can't go through with this, not now.
Yes, now. You are my daughter. There are so many years that you have been kept from me. Please, let me be a father to you.
No.
No.
Did the man who you thought was your father, did he love you?
No, he hates me.
Did he treat you as well as I did when I thought you were only a guest in my house?
Oh, Joe Mascolo.
He beat me. And after Emily would leave, I would always be so scared. Because I had nothing. I had nothing at all.
Hey, so that's your scene with them. So I mean,
I haven't seen that in that was. Oh.
So here's the thing. So tell us a little bit about Joe Mascolo and Teo Painless. I mean,
and people are asking too how you feel about Joe's.
Oh yeah, he's retiring.
Stefano's
he's been killed.
Death on the show.
Yes.
So.
I absolutely adored working with Joe. Such a giving, focused, generous actor. And I really felt that we had that connection, and that it was very believable that we were father-daughter. And I don't know quite what to say other than I just treasured every moment that I got to work with him and that we had scenes together. And I really am happy that he came back as many times as he did in all these incarnations and things like that. And I think it was a great way for him to go out on the show.
We talked about it on our show.
It seemed to be on his terms as well. And a lot of actors don't get that privilege.
No, they don't.
Or that honor.
No,
and I think that...
As you well know.
Yes.
Sorry to bring that up again.
Yes, that's fine.
It's what I'm here for. I guess I am the bad one.
You are the bad one.
Yes. Yeah. But I was just going to say, what an honor and a privilege for them to allow him, to have a say in that. And he so deserves it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and one of the things that I'm going to post some of these online, and she's going to be doing some too, but this is the letter, this is the original letter that Tony wrote to Stefano, right?
Right, about family and everything that Stefano read aloud to me. And I want to say a little something about that scene.
Yes.
I don't know if it would still hold the record today. Maybe Mr. Historian will be able to tell us.
He'll know.
But I think it was 7 minutes and either 2 or 4 seconds long. Just continuous. We didn't edit, we didn't cut, we didn't stop, and it was just Stefano and Renee and talking about family and how important it is to be together and to
he's
stay
still
together.
having those speeches with his kids. Just
I know.
But
not anymore.
Not 7 minutes, but
not 7 minutes. I believe you do hold the record.
Yeah.
Ooh, after all these years, how fun!
This is a letter from
Lee.
Who is your sister mother?
Right.
Yes, mother sister.
That she left for me.
Yes.
That Marlena brought to me in the cabin.
Yes.
Right after Tony and I got engaged, and she left me with the package. Not only that letter, but also the locket. That if you opened it up, I think it had Stefano's picture in it, and was it my baby picture? Come on, historian. Come on. What was
your baby picture.
Okay.
They want to connect the dots. They want to connect the dots so they look it. So
and then when we got back to Dr. Evans's office, I had her read this aloud. And for those of you who never watched the show, you're hearing this for the first time. For those of you who did watch, know Brenda Bonet committed suicide.
Yeah.
And it was during the heart of all of this. So this is how they got her out of town, is through this letter, that it was too overwhelming, she couldn't handle it, and she had to leave. So I know that scene's up on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
it is.
if you see it, of Marlena reading the letter out loud, I was sobbing. Yeah. And those were
real tears,
totally. Well, all my tears are real.
Oh yeah, real.
But this had totally special meaning behind it that no one could grasp or understand the loss or the pain that we were all feeling, because I think it had happened just the week before.
Oh wow!
It was we were really raw.
Yeah.
And even Deidre, she was fighting. I was so glad I didn't have to read the letter. She was fighting the tears.
Yeah.
And I remember at the very end, when she was finishing the letter, she very quickly tried to just kind of wipe away some of the tears, because she was supposed to be a professional, and a doctor, and not getting involved in
this. She's got a heart too.
Yes, but clearly, again, we were all so totally and terribly affected by our loss.
So when you guys found the news at the job, I'm sure the mood just.
Well, no, we actually did not find that out at the job. There's some interesting stories about that. But Jean Bruce Scott, who played Jessica on the show,
Jessica,
she called all of the cast. For some reason, they had called her.
Okay.
It happened. They found her at like 3:30 in the afternoon, and they wanted us to know before it hit the news at 6. And so Jean Bruce called everybody, and we all showed up at her house, and we were given the news at her house. What had happened, and we all just lost it.
Yeah, I'm sure. Talk about time difference now. Now it's all social media. You can find on social media.
Yeah.
This was like call people on the phone.
Yes.
You get together. It's kind of very personal. You get together.
Yes.
And you mourn it together. You get lost together. Wow, that's interesting.
But we were all very grateful that we had that opportunity, that we didn't piecemeal it and hear it over the news and suddenly calling everybody up and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
So.
Now, a lot of your storylines did center around Tony. And our girl Anna, who was played by Leanne Huntley, we love her.
Yes.
And we're going to show a quick scene of her confronting you from her hospital bed.
Yeah, she doesn't win. Hello again.
Well, there, Renee, I see you're not as dumb as I thought you were. You showed up.
What did you mean about going to jail?
I meant I know what you have done.
What I have done, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't you?
No, I don't.
You tried to kill me, Renee. Me and my baby.
Oh, come on, don't be ridiculous.
Oh, I'm very serious. You knew I was going out in that boat to the island, and you put a hole in it.
You know, you really are crazy. In the first place, you know that I love Tony, and there's no way in the world that I would ever do anything to try to kill him.
No, you didn't. Because you didn't know he'd be in the boat with me. Because his plane landed an hour early.
Look, I didn't do anything to that boat.
Well, you know, I just had a very, informative, interesting chat with Wally. Someone found that spot of dry rot. And they put a hole right above the water line so that when Tony and I got in the boat, it sank just far enough for the water to start filling in.
Well, maybe somebody did put a hole in that boat. But it wasn't me.
You're lying.
Tell me this, do you have any proof to back up this little accusation?
No, I don't. Not yet.
Okay.
But I'll get it. And when I do, I'll see you rot in jail.
You know, Anna, you really are crazy.
Well, you better just watch yourself, Renee. You better just, don't make any mistakes. Because I know you tried to kill my baby. I know you tried to kill me, and when Tony finds out you tried to kill his baby, he's going to have your head on a platter.
Well, Anna, until you have proof, I think you better keep your mouth shut, because I happen to know that you're the one who's been lying all along.
If you're talking about my marriage to Tony, he already knows about it.
The marriage? You mean the fact that you tricked him into marrying you by getting him drunk?
Yes.
So there you go. So it's just, I mean, bitches fight each other. I love it. And she's in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
Oh my, I just love it. And your hair is just perfect. The way you flip it and everything.
Those were the days.
Those are the days, yes. How was it with Leanne Huntley? Because she was your nemesis on the show, obviously, but not.
We adored each other.
Yeah.
We had fun. We socialized off camera, and you know, it was a sheer joy to see her at the 50th.
Yeah.
And I had the picture of us pulling each other's hair reenacted, so it's current now. But yes, and I certainly hope that Leanne and I can resume an off-screen friendship.
Very good.
And,
very good.
Yeah, and catch up and see what's been going on in each other's lives.
How was the 50th for you coming back?
Oh, my.
I saw many pictures of you with people. I was like, how was that? Seeing all the folks.
I have to tell you, when I first heard about the party, I thought, okay, I'm not going to be invited, so I guess I was just a legend in my own mind.
That's where it starts, right?
That even though I was only on 3 years, but I felt like I'd made a real difference on the show.
You did. No, you did.
And when I was invited, I was over the moon.
Yeah. Oh, good.
And I have to tell you, the reception that I got, especially from everyone that was still on the show that I worked with, was just incredible.
Oh, good.
And then a lot of the new people, it was fun to go introduce myself because they had no idea who the hell I was. And Billy Flynn was funny.
Oh, that's his man.
Okay, calm down.
That's seriously his man.
Calm down. Okay. So when I ran into Billy on the red carpet,
your brother,
I introduced myself. I said, "Hi, I'm your dead sister." And he looked at me and he went, "Oh, okay," kind of thing. But that was fun, but the reception and being able to see Ken Corday again and Greg Ning and everybody was just,
Was there one person that you were like, oh, I hope so-and-so's there, and you got to see them? Anybody that stands out? I know you want to see everybody, but...
Yeah, well, Bill and Susan Hayes.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, I can't just say one person,
right.
but Bill and Susan...
well, they're kind of one.
I got to interview them, and they very much finish each other's sentences.
Yeah.
They're so in sync with each other.
Yeah. Well, can I... I'd like to share something.
So we're leading into these things naturally.
I know. Well, I have a quick story
yes, please do.
that it was my second day on the set. My first day, I had like 4 little scenes, but they were all phone calls. You know, so it was just me talking to dead air.
Yeah.
You know, so I didn't have a lot that I needed to memorize.
Welcome to my time at AfterBuzz.
Dead air.
Me talking to dead air.
How do you put up with this?
Every week.
Oh, God.
Every week.
Okay.
I'm the sane one.
Right.
You are? No,
Yeah, I know.
I'm just kidding.
Scary thought.
That tells you a lot about
I'm just kidding.
It starts with me and then goes down.
Okay. Well, the second day on the set, I go to, I think, the lodge, and to actually seek Doug.
Yeah.
And Julie happens to be there.
Yeah.
Because they were having a little thing.
Yes.
And, of course, I didn't know that. But I had, like, 2 pages of a monologue because I had to do all the exposition of who I was, where I came from, why I was there, what I hoped to be, what my dreams were, how many children no, not quite that far. But you know, I had to do all of that. And literally their lines were like, really? Tell us more. You're kidding. You know, and I had this monologue stuff. Well, okay, like I said, second day on the set. And back then we started at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow.
And we did dry blocking with the director. Then at 8:30 we did camera blocking. Then we started to go get into hair and makeup. And then at 12:30 we did a run through of the show till 2:30, and then from 2:30 2 to 2:30. No, I'm sorry, till 2 o'clock. Then 2 to 2:30 we got notes. And then we started taping the show.
Oh, wow.
Okay, and
it's
we
a full
finished.
day.
Yeah, we finished at like usually 4 or 5 o'clock.
Okay.
You know, but we started at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, so it was a long day. So anyway, suddenly in dress rehearsal, there are cue cards. I had never seen cue cards. I had never worked with cue cards.
I know back then
before,
some people did, right?
You know, and
some of them use them currently. I won't say names.
I won't go there.
I won't say names.
Yeah.
But in
Stefano.
this instance, I and throughout my entire career, I never used a teleprompter or cue card.
Right.
But this was my second day, and we were in dress rehearsal. Or was it actually? No, it was dress rehearsal. And you can't help but see things out of your peripheral vision, you know.
I'm not going away.
Oh, okay. And I was talking to Doug and Julie, and out of my peripheral vision, I could see these big, you know, poster-sized cue cards with all this writing on it in bright red out of the corner of my eye, and it freaked me out. And I right in the middle of it, I went, stop, I'm sorry, can we get rid of those cue cards? And it was like that moment. Do you remember that commercial E.F. Hutton when everybody E.F. Hutton and everybody went,
yes.
I swear I heard everybody on the set gasp.
Ooh.
And everybody, it was like turned and looked at Bill and Susan on the set, because their lines were on there too.
Okay.
And I didn't know what I'd done.
Right.
You know, and Bill looked at Susan, and Susan looked at Bill, and then they looked at the cue card guy, and I will never ever forget this. She looked at him and she goes, "That's fine, take him away."
Oh, wow.
And that was like so giving and so loving. And so maybe that's what bonded us day one, is that I had since I don't really have balls, but I had the guts to to kind of stand up to the living legends who had just been on the cover of Newsweek.
Hello.
You know?
The first,
the just a few years.
Yeah, in 1976,
prior to that.
Yeah.
And so I guess they liked my spunk or whatever, standing up for myself. But from that moment on, you know, I just adored them, and we didn't get a chance to work together a lot, except for those first few months because of the Lee, you know, the triangle with them.
Lee and Doug and Julie, they had a triangle.
Right.
Going,
And so I got to work with them then. But after that, they were Hortons, we were Damaras. We didn't mix or mingle except when I married her son, David.
Right. They were banding,
and we had a few interactions together.
David was Julie's son?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, did Doug and Julie go on as many cruises back then as they do now?
No, they did not. No, they did
Sorry,
not.
I had to get
but
that
can
in.
I have one thing I would love to share.
Yes.
This is my first fan letter I ever got. And I would like
to get one.
I would like...
We have.
Well, you text me the one time.
We have fan stuff.
Yes. Okay, this is February 18th, 1981. Philece, this is a fan letter. You've been doing a great job.
I love the disclaimer, just so you know, from the beginning. Sorry, go ahead.
Can I finish?
Sorry.
Can she finish? Hello.
You've been doing a great job ever since you started on our show. Then in the last week or so, you just turned in a magnificent series of performances. Your preparation for last Monday's tearful involvement, Brent's death, Lee's insanity, Renee's guilt, etc., was really inspiring. I hope our writers have lots of goodies to throw your way in the future, because you and your talent deserve them. Happy new home and happy new home life. As satisfying as good scenes are, they can't keep you warm at night. Good luck. I hope we work together a long time to come. Sincerely, and with love, Bill Hayes.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
Is that like just phenomenal?
It is.
That's
I mean, and I got to interview him, and I loved him and Susan. They were just amazing.
Yeah.
That's classy.
So with that happening on the set, and then getting this, who do you think I was most excited to see on the 50th?
Yes, exactly.
Totally.
They could have been nicer.
Well, and I said to him when we met him at Day of Days, because everybody talks about Billy Flynn's eyes and his beautiful eyes and everything. And when I met Bill Hayes, I was like, screw Billy Flynn's eyes.
Yeah.
Those eyes.
Yes,
I mean, I never really noticed until I met him in person. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Sold.
The three of us talked about I'm a grandfather, believe it or not. And we
You're
talked.
kidding.
I'm dead.
How did that happen?
That's a long story.
Okay.
I just look younger than I am. But the three of us talked about that off camera. And then on camera, I have them saying during our interview, we aged, but James doesn't. I was like, this first super couple that my mother loved growing up said I don't age.
Yeah.
So that made me happy. I don't know how you feel. It just made me happy. They're legends. You're a legend. They're legends. They're legends. And speaking of that,
tell
a quick story about this, folks.
Oh my gosh.
I love this.
I love this. Yes.
Well, sometimes to my detriment, maybe, I feel like I'm always maybe one step or a little ahead of the game. When I moved out here from Texas in 1978, I came with a video reel.
Oh, wow.
Nobody had those.
Back then, no.
And
so was it VHS?
VHS,
okay.
a VHS
I was trying to think.
tape, and it was a 5-minute tape, of my work. And it had music, introduction, and flash pictures,
of course
and
it did.
scenes, and then ending with my name coming up on screen and more flashing pictures. Nothing had been done like that. And I brought that with me, and I was very blessed to get an agent right off the bat. Mm-hmm. And back then, you could do go-sees. The agent would set you up with an opportunity to go meet casting directors. And one of my interviews was with a casting director named Patty Hayes at Universal, and I gave her my demo reel, and she said, what is this? And I told her, and she goes, well, I'll look at it. And I said, okay. And she said, you know what? I like you. The first thing you're right for, I'm going to have you in. Within 4 months, she called me in. I auditioned for BJ and the Bear.
Oh, my God.
And got a almost a guest shot on it. I had a great part on it, and it was all thanks to kind of being ahead of my time and pushing and being out there. So when I was killed off of Days of Our Lives, I was really proud of my work on that show, and especially that last year and that tell-off scene, and all of that kind of stuff. So I thought I should pursue trying to get an Emmy nomination. Mm-hmm. This was 1982, or 83.
83.
Nobody had done anything like that. So this is actually the piece together, and then I made copies.
And
this is the original. This is me. We took the pictures on the set after I had been killed, and I have a bouquet of roses. The knife is still sticking in my back.
Yes.
I love
and I have
it.
blood streaming down my face, and I put in the bubble. I've always said show business is my life, but this is ridiculous. And I said Philece, and I put was and underlined it. Renee DuMonde, Demira Banning Marshall, Days of Our Lives. And on this page, I solicited votes, to get nominated for an Emmy. And I cannot tell you how many nasty replies I got back saying, how dare you do something like that? That's just not right. And, you're just, you're soliciting like that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, but once again, I think I was ahead of my time because what does everybody do
now.
today?
Yeah, hello.
I mean, but so that's kind of why I kept it.
I like that.
Yeah.
It was like, silly.
And you mentioned you being killed, and back in the day when we didn't have social media and people made phone calls. I actually talked to Deidre Hall about when she was killed trying to be your sister and how that worked out.
Right.
But Renee has some. here. Because people were upset, they were calling into the set. And this is actually the phone records.
Yeah.
And look at this, people. People upset.
About Renee being killed?
Yes. Just people just writing and writing and shit in there, saying things like, "You get rid of the best people. Liz in jail, Renee dead. I'll never watch again," she screamed. If you kill Renee, I'll quit watching forever. Why don't you get rid of some of those goody Hortons? I mean, like the thing.
Oh my God, well, fast forward to 2015, and now they kill Will, and they're probably getting the same exact phone messages.
Exactly. I love it.
I have two that I really thought were really fun that I wanted to share out of this. One said, called in and said that a woman called in from the hospital, and she said that she was in her hospital bed, and she had to have the doctor come in to give her a shot to calm her down.
That's fantastic.
And then this one happens to be my favorite.
Okay.
We'll sue NBC for damages because I shot out my picture tube after today's show.
I like that. I love that. Oh my
Picture
God.
tube.
I know. But yeah, exactly. Picture tube. I didn't even get that part.
Remember that hello. Get that part.
Oh my God. But yeah, my very good friend Gay Linville or whatever at the time happened to. I have no idea how she got these.
That's great.
But
that's great.
she gave them to
That's
me.
fantastic.
And I thought,
what a treasure.
You gotta save
You have
stuff
such a
like
nice
that.
collection.
Yes.
You know?
Okay, so before we get into your voice work, because this is going by so fast, you'll have to come back again, obviously.
Can I?
Yes,
Yes.
you can. Definitely. Mark and I
So
say
much
yes.
fun.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yes, hands down.
Hands down.
Okay. Well,
but
they kind of determine too if they,
No,
everybody.
we
yes,
decide.
screw that. We're gonna do it ourselves.
Sorry, guys.
They're happy. They're so right now. They're so happy. They're saying you should have been nominated. You were a pioneer.
Oh,
You should have been
wow.
nominated. They're just kidding. So,
Can I ask real quick?
Yes, go
somebody, Cindy in the chat room asked if you by chance still watch Days.
Oh, good question.
You know what? There was a time there that I didn't, and then I started watching
When
again.
Billy Flynn came on.
No.
Oh.
Before that.
I tried.
But so I did see. I have
when he
seen
came
his
on.
work.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's amazing.
And so when I was busy, no, I wasn't watching it, and then I started watching it again, and then life got in the way, kind of, and I
Gotcha.
didn't. But I have been watching it, picking up and watching it again lately.
Oh, okay,
so,
good.
Yeah.
That's a good question, actually. That's a good question. We'll talk about the tell-off scene, the big scene. Everybody's talking about. You can go on YouTube.
Is it? I tried to find it.
It's in pieces. It's in pieces.
Oh, okay.
So you have to go and look. I forgot how you look it up, but it's like it's on there. Trust me, I've seen it.
Okay, I have something too that I found.
Please do.
In regards, it was from a TV.com review. Somebody wrote, they had a thing on there about you and like all your work, and then there was a place for people to write comments. And this was, I think it was from like 2 years ago. The guy's name was Pit Guy 1971. Never put your birth year in there, Mister. Just so you know.
It's still younger than me.
But
so there you go.
I saw this. I was like, oh my gosh, I have to read this to you because I don't know if you ever saw it. And now I have to read my handwriting. Philece gave, in my opinion, one of the best performances in soap history on Days of Our Lives in 1983. When, as Renee, she told off the town at her party for an announcement of the year. She rocked the screen. Kudos to her for a performance I remember at age 41 and saw when I was 12.
Wow.
I just got goosebumps.
Me too.
I literally just got goosebumps.
I'm getting a little.
Yeah.
The thing is, Felice, that maybe you're finding out now is that we remember.
Yeah.
I am so touched, and
Yeah.
you are. You're gonna make.
I mean, give me teary-eyed all of a sudden too. All of a sudden,
I'm
but yeah.
so honored and so touched because, I think that's kind of every actor's dream is to be able to breathe life into a character and have it be remembered.
Yeah.
And that's why, it's so wonderful to have all these old films that you can see people who are not with us anymore again and again and again. And the soaps, thank goodness, because of YouTube and some diehard fans who are now posting some of this old stuff, it was not rerun. So it's like you saw it and it was gone. If you taped it or saved it. And so to be remembered in that regard and that long ago, it's really...
The thing is, people, you're on their TV screens 5 days a week, 3 days a week, 4 days a week. They do remember. So fans are very loyal.
Well,
and we're fans too.
In speaking of that, like I said, it's always gosh, I'm just realizing we are doing such good segues.
We are.
Unplanned.
Talking about that, trying to go for the Emmy and everything, it's always nice to be acknowledged by your peers.
Yes.
But if I may,
yes, please do.
The thing that means like the most to me
yes,
is the fans. And that's you guys.
Yes,
because I had no idea. Is this going to create a glare, or can people see?
They can see it.
I think they can see it.
Is that okay?
Looks great.
Okay.
Great.
It's on the bottom
Daytime
here.
TV. I kind of pieced this together to put it all on one page. But Daytime TV ran a contest or whatever. Back in 1983, I knew nothing about.
And it was I love that you specified this when we were talking about it. That it wasn't, you didn't vote online and click a button.
Yeah, no.
This was
you
cut
had
it out,
to buy
mail.
the magazine.
Yeah, exactly.
There was a little
effort
coupon.
was put into this. Yes.
You had to fill it out, your name, your address, put it in the mail, and send it in and everything. And after everything was said and done, I was voted most missed on daytime television.
Wow.
And that was probably the biggest honor, I could ever ask for, and totally unexpected. Somebody had to tell me about it, and of course, then I ran out and bought 10 copies of the magazine. But
rightfully so.
If I may, these were some of the people who had been on and were off at the time, and these were the people that
you beat. I'll say it.
Okay, thank you.
You whipped them.
Jeannie Francis, Rick Springfield, Judith Light, Jane Elliott, Margaret Colin, Tony Geary, Eileen Fulton, and Kathleen Cullen. And Barbara Crampton.
I mean, these
just
are
to name a few
actors who are like legends on the soaps.
So I have to say that has been the most touching and honoring thing I could ever imagine.
And
beats an Emmy. Well, maybe hands down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But I like the story even better than having an Emmy. You know what I mean? I love that you did that,
and
you stepped outside of the box and did something that
I did not solicit.
Right.
The Emmy I did, and see what it got me.
Yeah. But
nothing.
And you've also gotten Fans Choice Awards for your voiceover stuff too.
Yes.
And that's a good segue too, because we're going to show a picture right now of a sampling of some of the just a few of the the things that she has done. I mean, she's also done Madagascar 1 and 2, and you've done all kinds of stuff. And we're going to show a snippet. Well, actually, I think it's a minute and a half of.
Fabulous.
A lot of people know about her from The Legend of Korra. So here we go. It's tough. Because a lot of folks I know that, of course. Like, they're putting the dots together. Like, you never know who's doing voice work actually these days.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to do a very quick "What are the odds?" thing about this. The other woman who is playing Lynn in that piece is Mindy Sterling,
who's from the Austin Powers movies. She's on Blackish right now. Yeah, she's great.
Okay, so here's a "What are the odds?"
Okay.
I found out through IMDb that BJ and the Bear was my first TV episode. It seems to be Mindy's first TV episode. We were in the same episode. Didn't know it.
No
didn't
way.
saw each other. Okay.
The world's weird.
So then.
Crazy.
Then I'm working with Sherry Hersey, who was on Home Improvement, played Al's girlfriend on Home Improvement.
Yeah. Okay.
Jean is a very, very close and dear friend, and she asked me to help her write and create and produce a live-action children's musical called Lily's Light.
Okay.
And unbeknownst to me, she cast Mindy Sterling to play my sister.
Oh, no way.
Oh,
So
my
we
God.
played sisters. And then she was already cast in this.
Leslie
and
Cora.
then I get cast as Toph, and I find out she's playing my daughter.
That's hysterical.
It's like fate. It's like fate.
And the other thing on top of that, I was on set doing Donna Hudson on Another World
Yes.
when Anne Heche made her
Anne Heche, yeah.
debut.
That's Vicky and Marley and all those, yeah.
Anne Heche plays Sue, my other daughter.
Oh, my
in this.
God.
Didn't know. So that's like, what are the odds?
Right.
So obviously you and Mindy are good friends, obviously, in real life,
You know,
right?
we haven't really done a lot together.
Oh, funny.
So Mindy, I'd like to.
Yeah, like you guys keep ringing to each other. You're meant to be together.
Oh, and she's 5 days older than me. I'm not going to say what year. I'm not going to say what
Like
year.
the 5
Not
days.
needed.
No,
I love
but
it.
anyway, so.
It's hilarious. And you were going to show this.
Oh.
Let's show
This was
that.
my other total honor thing
Yes.
about the voice thing is this past season, again, People's Choice Award. I had no idea
did that,
it was
yes.
even existing until I went on IMDb. Okay, this is how kind of vain sometimes I am. But there's a little box on IMDb that like rates.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
you can
yeah.
see if you've gone up that week
Yeah, yes,
or if
yes,
you've gone
yes,
down.
definitely, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
Mine's a dead
I know. Well, sometimes I feel like mine is, you know. But underneath that, there's another little box that says awards and
Yep.
nominations.
Yeah.
And it's always been empty. And suddenly I'm just looking and I see one nomination, one award, and I thought, what did I win?
Yeah, you
Oh,
won.
that's funny.
I don't.
They never told you?
It's a mistake. It's got to be a mistake. So I clicked on it, and it was this. It was a People's Choice Award for portraying Toph.
That's
and that was like
fantastic.
fabulous.
Yes.
And then also on IMDb, I found out that I was selected as one of the top 20 female anime voice actors of all time throughout the world.
That's
And this
fantastic.
was based on like a 4-year study.
You've done a million of them, that's why. Might as well read your bio. I'm like, Homegirl's working.
Yeah.
Homegirl is working. You are a working voice actor.
Well, you know, I don't know how it happened, but I really am so glad it happened because it has saved me so much money in
Yeah.
therapy. I cannot tell you. I mean, you know, and I just, sorry, but I do. I praise the Lord that He just blessed me with the opportunity to be so versatile.
Yeah.
You know, because I do. I play from infant to ancient, and I'm not kidding you. You know, how many times would we love to throw a temper tantrum,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we can't do it? But as a 6-year-old, I can.
Yeah.
Yes, you
That's
can.
you
So
know.
on our way out, 'cause we have to end the program already. Can you do a voice for us?
Sure.
Something that's easy for you to pull
Well,
up.
one of my favorites that I did. And the very quickly, there's
Please.
a lot of difference between original animation and anime and you know, things like that. But one of the my favorite things that I did was a show called Stanley.
Okay.
And Stanley was a little boy who had a goldfish, Charles Shaughnessy. Did the voice of the goldfish.
Wow,
Who
okay.
we became friends.
Okay, good.
When he was on Days and I was on Another World, we started doing publicity events
right,
together. So
yeah.
we met and
Yeah.
became friends there. But yeah, he was doing the goldfish, the voice of the goldfish. And I played Stanley's best friend, Lester, who was 6. And it was an incredible kids show on the Disney Channel that ran in early 2000s,
Okay.
I think. And Stanley had a big book of everything. So whenever he got into trouble or was fearful or afraid, they would all jump into the big book of everything. And it was all about animals and how animals relate a lot of times the same way that humans do through fear and
Yeah.
all this kind of stuff. So Lester happened to be one of my favorites.
And Lester was like 6, and he had just a little bit of a lisp, but he loved Stanley, and he was his best friend.
Oh my God, I love him already!
That's incredible. I love it.
The other thing that I was honored is that for all the other kids, they chose real kids
Oh,
to do the
that's
parts.
good. That's good.
But I was the only adult doing a child voice at that, you know, for that show.
For that show.
If someone is watching that's trying to get into voiceover, really quick, what off-the-cuff advice would you give somebody?
Take classes, definitely. And I guess the real thing is, a lot of people say, oh, I can do all kinds of voices and accents, and I'm really good at that. That's great. But it's not the most important thing. The most important thing about a voice actor is to tell the truth of the character. And you need to find out what that character's truth is. Are they a bully? Are they happy? Are they sad? Are they mean and cruel? You know, what all is going on with them? And then translate that to yourself, you know, in the sense of, when was the last time I felt bullied, or I wanted to bully, or I was sad, or whatever. And it's a funny thing. Your body just kind of gets you there. And then look at the lines, open your mouth, and see what comes out. You know, you do have to kind of, obviously, if it's a little girl or a little boy, you know kind of in what zone or whatever you're going to place the character. But you don't do the voice first. You don't pick up and say, you know, oh, I'm going to do this straw. You know, what does a straw sound like? You look at it and you go, oh,
it's a bright, shiny new straw. Okay, I love being submerged into a fruity juice.
I love it.
On that note,
from one fruity juice to another.
Excuse me, but what just happened?
I know, I love it.
I have no idea.
What happens when you sit next to me too long?
I went so into the straw. I have no idea what was coming or what was going to be said.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
Gosh.
So we need to do this again.
Yes.
I'm going to get all kinds of things and we can put voices to them.
We got to do a part 2. We got to do a part 2, of course. We have to get ready to do Dishin Days next. We're going to do part 2, but Philece.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
You guys.
What a joy. What a joy. And a privilege.
It has been such a delight.
Thank you.
So much fun.
Yes.
Thanks for letting me get out.
So where can the folks find you? Tell people where they can find you.
Actually, the best place right now is Twitter.
Yes.
You
She's
know,
on there.
I am going to be working on getting my real Facebook page set up soon, as well as I want to try to do a website, you know.
Make sure you let us know so we can promote it.
Yes. And I mean, that's the last thing, is that I have been doing so much behind the scenes stuff. I'm ready to get back out in front of the camera.
And
rise Renee from the dead.
There is Bring Back Renee campaign going on. Can you say hi to camera to Anthony, our buddy Anthony, who's been a big supporter of yours?
Anthony, hi.
He's been such a big supporter of you on Twitter. On Twitter.
Okay.
Oh my God.
And maybe next time I have a really interesting story about that day. Days.
Yeah, we got part 2. This is part 1. We got part 2.
We need to make sure that you guys, when you post this, Stephen and everybody, you put part 1 of the series. Because we're already, part 2 is going to happen.
We're going to talk to her, man. We're going to work it out. So thank you so much for watching this special edition of The Voice of. I'm James Lott Jr., Mark J. Freeman, Philece Sampler, and you'll watch us on Dishin Days next. See you next time.
See you soon.
Thank you, guys. Mwah.
Mwah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.